it's awesome. Like I would always say, like the first time I played in front of the crowded sports ground was nearly like a first cap again for me, because last year I didn't play in front of any crowds really. So like when we played against, I just have really nice memories. We played the Bulls here at the start of the season, and it was my first time where my parents were at a competitive game that I played, and it was just really nice to have them there, and we obviously got a really big win, and it was just a really special place, and you can feel it as well when you're playing, and how much the people love to watch Connacht play, and how much they love the place, and especially when you played those big European games here, you realise how special this place is and how incredible the support is.
Great break from the number 8, needs support, lovely pass back inside.
Already taken on by Matthew Burke, and bursting right through the middle goes Prendergast, and he had O'Halloran alongside him. He doesn't need him. What a start
Around
it
this
is.
time last year, I was super excited to sign my first pro deal here, and I was so privileged to get that opportunity. And then this year, I was just delighted that I was one of the lucky few that got opportunities from Friendly this year, and I like to think I took them and ran. So and then just to be offered them to show commitment and faith in me, to show that they want to keep me along for another 3 years, it's just really nice to feel. And then you can see with the new development coming here and what we're trying to build as a squad, and the signings we've made, I think there's something is brewing here. There's a few things we need to get right behind the scenes, but I think there's something brewing, and to be part of it will be incredible.
Yeah, yeah. And then you spoke with your parents there. So you're from Kildare, but whereabouts in Kildare are you from, and what's your kind of background there?
Yeah, I'm from the Curragh in Kildare.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I live just about just on the Curragh really. So it's handy during lockdown.
Yeah.
With those 2 kilometre restrictions, so yeah, no, it was handy. So I'm from the Curragh, went to Newbridge College. I went to a small enough primary school that was just walking distance from my house in a small enough village. So it's called Ballysacks Primary School. And I went there, and that was just kind of the local community primary school. So a lot of my friends there would have lived within 200 metres of me, so it was nice. And then I went to Newbridge College from there. My dad had gone to Newbridge College for a year, so I went. He really wanted me to go there, and then I went there, and yeah.
And so you went for 6th year, was it to Newbridge, or 5th and 6th? Or?
No, I went to Newbridge from first year.
Okay, yeah.
So I went to Newbridge from first year. I think my parents had me enrolled straight away. I think when I was about 2 or 3, they had me enrolled on the waiting list to go there. So I think they really want me to go there. So, look, Newbridge is a great place, and I love my time in Newbridge College. I nearly say to my sister, who's still there, I'm I would give anything to go back to that school. It's incredible. So, look, I'd be forever grateful for Newbridge College, not just on a rugby front, but as an individual, and what they've done for me as a person.
Yeah,
the teachers that I've had, just to name, got I'd feel bad now if I didn't name them. It'd be Jonathan Newsom, Dave Brew. You've got coaches like Niall Smullen and Cathal Murtagh and Owen Walsh, all those kind of people that helped me through. And just as a person, rather more than rugby, just as a person, what they've done for me has been incredible.
And then you mentioned there even the primary school and stuff like that. When did rugby become, not when you're too young, you don't think about it as being a career as well, but was there a local club? When did you first get involved in rugby, and what was the kind of the journey into that? Was it your first steps, I suppose?
I think I played a small bit of minis when I was 10, but look, I didn't really have much interest in it. I don't think I was fond of standing around in the cold. I think I wanted to play soccer. I think when I was younger, I wanted to play for Manchester United in soccer, so that was the thing. So I was I want to play soccer, and I played Gaelic football, and I did athletics and all that. So kind of tried my hand at everything, but didn't really fully start playing rugby. I knew how to play rugby. I'd played with my dad. I'd played in the back garden. I'd played with my friends on the green and stuff. So I fully committed to it when I went to Newbridge. Wasn't that good now until I was about 15, and I hit a bit of a growth spurt. I fancied myself as a bit of an out half. I thought I was going to be the next Johnny Sexton, but no, I was. And then they were why don't you try second row or back row? Because I think I went from 5'10" to 6'4" in a summer or something, and they were you should probably try back row or second row. I was you know what, I will, yeah, and that was it.
And what is there? Because you're 6'5" now, wasn't that it? And you said you took that big growth spurt. Is that in the genes? Is the family like that? Is your dad a big guy as well? Or? Yeah,
both my mum and my dad would be quite tall. My mum's side would actually be very tall. All my uncles would be about 6'5". They're all fairly well established footballers in Carlow as well. They would have played for Air Oak and Carlow and everything. And yeah, so my mum's side would be quite tall, and my dad's side would be tall as well. So like my brother as well is like about 6'4", and my sister's tall as well. So yeah, I think it's in the genes. Yeah.
And then you're saying you played a bit of GA as well. Then what was your position in GA, and how, what age did you play GA up until as well?
I played midfield in Gaelic football. Played until I was about 16. Then probably started getting a bit too heavy and a bit too slow. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop this because I've got lads running rings around me here. So, and then I got picked for representative sides with Leinster and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to just play rugby now. I just decided to fully commit to rugby. So yeah.
I remember talking to Will Connors, and he was saying he played a bit of rugby as well in Kildare, and he said that he did the same. Like, you know, you focused on the rugby for a while, but he said he went back and played for his local team then. And he said there was like 35, 36-year-olds who kind of just knew the game a bit more, like, and they'd be running rings around him because he was getting slower again.
Yeah.
Started to play back row as well, like, but, and like as you talk about your friends growing up, you're still, you know, you have that core bunch of mates from that area and stuff growing up, or are they all from the Newbridge College? Like,
mostly, like, I'd have like a couple of mates that would be from that would live, like I've one friend, Larry Kelly, that lives about 500 metres away from me. And then I have a couple of lads that are spread. Like, the funny thing about Newbridge College is that so many people come from so many different directions to go to the school. Like, you have people coming from as far as Blessington, and you have people coming from Meath to go to Newbridge College. So I'm like, my parents would be like, I'd be like, oh, can I get a lift over to this lad's house? Like, he's invited me over, and I'd be like, where is it? And it'd be like, Allenwood. They'd be like, fuck, you know, 40 minutes away. They'd be like, oh, yeah, okay. But you have to stay over. I'm not picking you up. Yeah, so that's the funny thing. But look, I'm still very close with all the people in Newbridge College. I still keep up to date with them. Like, I'd have a really tight bunch of friends from there. So I don't get to see them much now because rugby's quite intense. But like in the summer, I'll definitely catch up with them a good bit. My brother was actually on that team, the Newbridge College team, and the final was cancelled. But James coached me in school.
Oh really? Yeah.
So yeah, he didn't pick me for junior cup. So like, listen. Won't get into it, but yeah, no. James was our forwards coach when we were junior cup team.
Have you ever had a chance to meet him on a rugby pitch now ever since? Or?
I've played him a couple of times now, but like James is always really good. Like, he texts me every so often, asks me how I'm doing, like saying like if something happens, like I'm picked for a team or something, he'll text me saying congrats and stuff. So he's always been very nice in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
And how did you guys get on? Like in your, like, let's say junior cup, senior cup, was there ever kind of one year where you got close or got to a final or semi or anything like that?
When I was junior cup, we weren't very good. We got hammered in the first round, knocked out. And then I played in 4th, 5th and 6th year, and I think only my year in 6th year we only got to the quarter final. We got knocked out by Belleville. I think I got knocked out by Belleville like 2 of the 4 years I was there. So yeah, look, like we probably didn't, like, we had a decent year, but like I think Newbridge are starting to get some really, I think they've put a lot of foundations in place. Like Johnny Murphy's working there now, and he's starting to put a bit of work in, and like foundations are being built around, and there's people that have left the place. They've kind of built it back up and put it in a place, because it could have easily gone one or two ways. They could have fallen off and not been considered a rugby school per se, but now they had some good people involved, and they made sure that didn't happen, and people that really love Newbridge College. So it's great to see that, like, they won the junior cup there. Like, I think there was a 4th years won the junior cup, I think before Christmas. Yeah. And then they made a senior cup semi-final, and then they'll have a couple of strong years, I think, according to sources anyway. So yeah, it's great to see them doing well. So
yeah, it's kind of thinking, you said United, so I'm a United fan as well. It's like
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I said at the moment. It's like even watching their games now is depressing. Like, you know, I actually said it, now I know what it's like to be a football fan, because I think I had it easy for so many years. Yeah. Like, but so yeah, like, so that was the kind of main thing for you. But then, I suppose, sporting heroes for yourself growing up. Then, like, I suppose, who were they? Who did you kind of look at closely and say you want to be like? Was there anyone in rugby terms that you kind of would have looked at when you were growing up and said, you know, geez, I like what he does, like I like the way he plays?
When I was younger, like, I love Robbie Keane. Yeah. And I love Roy Keane as well. I think it was probably their last name was Keane, probably, I don't know. But I think I was obsessed with getting the boots that Roy Keane had.
The Adores?
Yeah, I think he was Reebok or something like that. I think I had to get them, but I don't think they had them. But my dad convinced me these are the ones he wears and stuff, just to keep me happy. But yeah, look, there's obviously people like Jamie Heaslip that went through Newbridge. So you see him, and Fergus McFadden. Fergus McFadden's actually from up the road. He lives about under a kilometre away from our house as well, like, used to anyway. In
terms of, like, yeah, like the school and stuff, so like you're with a team that, you know, maybe got to like knockout stages or got it late enough but never won it then. So how do you get spotted by Leinster, and how did that all happen? Or can you remember Is it a coach recommending you, or did someone come along and watch a game?
I think when I was I played. I was in the senior cup team in 4th year, and they put me forward for Leinster under 17s trials. I think Niall Smullen was the coach, and he put me forward for Leinster under 17 trials, and then I played a trial game in that, and then I was asked to go up and play with the Leinster under 18s, and I think I was always then, once you're kind of in there, they're always kind of keeping an eye on you, and then those cup games, if you play well in them, they kind of keep tabs on you and stuff, and then you play like Leinster under 18s and 19s, and hopefully Irish 18s, 19s, and 20s.
Yeah, and then so you'd still now be kind of like the paths kind of diverged at one stage, but you're still you'd still know some of the Leinster lads that are kind of making their own breakthrough now in the last couple of years, and would you be friendly with any of them then as well? Yeah,
look, the Leinster Sub Academy, like I made some really good friends there, because you nearly see each other more than you see your family. Like it's like you're in at 7 o'clock in the morning with each other, gymming and stuff. So, like I lived with Max O'Reilly, who's playing for Leinster now. I lived with him for a year, and then there's guys like John McKee, who recently got capped, and Brian Deeney, and then Charlie Ward, who's here now, was in the Sub Academy with me as well. So. There was like a small and then Alex Soroka and Sean O'Brien as well, those kind of guys. So there was kind of like, it was like a big enough group, but it was fairly close knit, because Dave Fagan puts you through a lot there. So yeah.
And then, because I remember like earlier on the season, we were chatting to Conor Oliver, and it's like he had similar enough where like he had to then go and make his own path somewhere else as well. Like that. Do you remember those kind of conversations yourself? Did you have to? Was it Dave that you would have spoken to at the end, where it's like, we can't offer you anything for next year? Can you remember back to those conversations? I got a phone call off Noel Mack during lockdown in like about April, I think, lockdown or May, and it was like, listen, we don't have a place for you. And look, the world came crashing down around me at that time. I didn't know what I was going to do, and then about 36 hours later, I get a phone call from Eric, and he was like, we'd like to offer you a place in the Connacht Academy. And look, I'll be forever grateful for that, because it was a second chance for me. And then, look, like you have conversations with lads, and you're chatting to lads, and they're saying they got an offer in Leinster, and at the time you're very jealous, but look, I wouldn't change my path for anything really, because like I've learned a lot through it, and like I think I've got great opportunities here, and I don't know what it'd be like if maybe I got an offer in Leinster and I didn't come here. Like it could be very different for me. And even early on, I was talking with Conor, but Paul Boyle, I was talking to him, he had something similar again. He said, I think himself and his dad made the trip, the drive down, probably talked to Eric as well, and he said it was the easiest decision he ever made. Like, was it similar for you? Did you drive down here, or was it all probably, maybe it was in lockdown so you couldn't? It was literally all done over phone calls. So like, the main thing from my mum was that I could get to transfer my college over. Yeah. I think that was the main hiccup, but like I wanted to go straight away. Once I got the phone call, I was like, yes, I'm coming. Yeah. I'm 100% going to be there. And then I think my mum was just like, hold on, you need to get your college sorted and stuff. And yeah, that was really it. But what's the college thing then? Like, did you get switched over? Are you in like GNYT now? Or?
I'm in NUIG, yeah. Studying, like I've split up my years and stuff, so trying to stay on top of it, but it's tough now. The rugby's been quite intense, so yeah. Yeah,
and it's been a busy, like I think, was it 20 games maybe for you this year? I think you started most of them as well. Like,
yeah.
Mad busy. Like, did you even coming in? I'll probably go back again. Sometimes I might do this. Apologies for going
no
back
worries.
Before in your life, but like, yeah. Did you ever think that you'd play like 20 games and you're not even finished yet for the season? In like, I know you played last year, but like this has been one hell of a kind of breakthrough season, hasn't it? Like.
Yeah, like I'd say like around February time 2020, like last season, February, I thought I was never going to play. Like, and then I thought I was like, I'd only got opportunities because lads have been sick with COVID and injuries and stuff like that. I got lucky with those, and then I thought I was never going to play. It felt like there was no way I was ever going to get into the team. Like even the back rows we have now, like, and some that are leaving, like Abe and Owen Masterson and stuff, like they're quality players, and like, I thought I was never going to get ahead of them. And you got like established players like Jared, and Paul Boyle was playing some of the best rugby out of any back row in Ireland at that time. So. And then like during the Rainbow Cup, we had a couple of injuries, and Friendly was like, you're going to start against Munster in Thomond, and like that was a really big day for me. And then look, I got to play the rest of the Rainbow Cup then, and then had a good pre-season, and then got picked to start the first game. So yeah, like I didn't really go into the season like having a set amount of games I wanted to play. Like ultimately you want to get picked for every game. So I really kind of just said I'm going to have a good pre-season and then hopefully play in those pre-season friendlies and then get picked for the first game. So that was the main goal, to get picked against Cardiff away, and then just flowed from there.
Yeah. And can you remember back to, as you said, that Munster game you're told you're starting? Are you told earlier in the week? Can you kind of remember that, like to kind of get your head space into it? Are you told Monday, Tuesday how it all works, or?
Team was named on Tuesday, I think.
Yeah.
And that was the first idea I got of it.
And how does it? Because I know, like, let's say in Ireland or you see the Lions documentaries, everyone's in a room together. How does it happen for you guys when you find out you're in? Are you all pulled in together after training? Here's the team, or how does it work?
See, it's funny, last year because of COVID we weren't having any meetings, so the team sheet was actually sent out on like on a Monday or Tuesday evening. I think it was maybe a Monday evening because the game was on a Friday, I think. So Monday evening the team was sent out, and I was like going to start, and then look, it's probably like not as like kind of, how would you say, like how you think it would be like during COVID. Like it's because like it's not as kind of in your face, and you don't get that moment of seeing your name up on the team sheet. It's already sent out on a document, so it's not as special, but it was special. So I got to play that game, and then we got a big win, which was even better.
Yeah, and then could you, because it might not be released to everyone yet, can you tell anyone then that night when you find out? Are you even allowed to get onto your folks or anything, or do you have to kind of sit on it until it's officially announced then as well?
Oh no, I rang my dad straight away.
Yeah. And what was that phone call then like, even just to kind of?
I was just like, listen, I'm going to be playing against Munster, like I'm going to start and stuff like that, and they were just delighted for me. I think my mum gets very, very nervous. I think she was nearly going to throw up, like, cause she was thinking about who I was going to play and how big they are, and but no, look, I think she's gotten a bit better at it now, but look, I think she was very nervous. I think my brother was even more nervous and stuff, so my dad was always there, like, because I didn't get to see them much during lockdown. He was always there in terms of like he would take a phone call from me when I wasn't picked and how frustrated I was, but then he was there. It was nice to have a phone call where I tell him like I am getting picked, and it's been nicer this year to send him a text saying, by the way, I'm starting this week, so and have them at the game. So
I remember that game as well. It was feisty as well, like.
Yeah, I think that always happens when we play Munster. I don't know what it is, like, and it just happens when we play Munster that a bit of push and shove happens, because I think you remember in the sports ground here, like, and in the new year we had a bit of a Barney just before half time, so it's yeah, look, like it's always feisty because so close to each other. Munster are probably our closest rivals, so look, it was just like, I think it's because we wanted to get that. I think we'd been pumped by Leinster the week before, so we had to get that emotional edge. And the under-20 experience was like, it was great for me. I learned a lot. Like, it was probably didn't go as how I wanted it to go. Like, I'd probably picture myself starting in the games, but I didn't play well enough. I probably wasn't consistent enough going into that season, and I didn't get to start. I came off the bench in a couple of games, and look, we had a couple of great wins, and it's unfortunate that we got it cut short. We never got to like go to a World Cup, because I thought we had a really good team there. I think a load of us are playing regularly now in our provinces and stuff, so it would have been really good to see what that group could have done, but unfortunately it never happened. You
came onto the radar for a lot of people like this season a bit more because you've been playing those, you're making more starts as well, but like started doing well from the start of the season, but then have been able to keep it up as well. But is there anything you felt you've learned over the course of the season where like you are almost like learning on the job as well, but can you look back at your early games and say, I'm so much better now than I was even 8 or 9 months ago?
Yeah, like definitely. Like I definitely think I've improved a lot as a player, and like look, like you learn a lot of things, and there's a lot of like really experienced players here, like, and we've got some like you've got like Jared Butler, who's been like, he's been to the Reds, played with the Brumbies, he's been in Connacht, he's club captain now here, like, and so you get to learn off someone like that and play with him and see how they prep and stuff like that. And then I had an experience in Irish camp for a week, and I learned a load there from coaching and players, and see what they're doing, how they go about their business, and what I can bring to my game and stuff like that.
Yeah, what was that like then? Yeah, because I think you were the only one, weren't you? You're the only developmental player, because everybody else, the URC games are still ongoing. Like, so a big honour to kind of get called in and do that. What was that experience like, or do you remember any of the guys coming up to you initially and kind of being very welcoming, and or like even early interactions you had when you went there? Yeah,
look, everyone was very nice to me. Like I think that's the big thing they have in their group, that they don't let, like, everyone's allowed to be their own individual. Like no one has to kind of keep to themselves. So everyone was really nice, introducing themselves, like people like Peter O'Mahony and Josh Van der Fleer coming up to me, and like offering help and telling me like if I need this, come to me, like I'll sit down with you and have a look at this if you want and stuff like that, which was awesome. Like kind of like they nearly sit down with me for like an hour and a half on the computer and just look at things with me, which was phenomenal for me as an individual. And then like Andy and Paul and Simon and Caddy are all like, they were phenomenal, like in terms of like just trying to help you, but obviously they demand a standard as well. So they're saying this is what you have, like this is what we expect of you, and they give you like a small bit of leeway at the start, but then once you're in, like you understand it straight away.
Yeah, that is the thing, isn't it? It's almost like it's the kind of proving ground, weirdly enough, isn't it? You get dropped in, and can you just pick up stuff quickly on the go as well? Isn't that it? Like with Connacht as well, I was wondering, do you remember anything from those early days of anyone coming out and kind of doing the same thing, giving you a lot of time when you first came in, and reaching out to you and kind of saying, if you want anything, come to me? Or
yeah, definitely. Like I think there was a load of players, like, and you find that everyone's really welcoming here in Connacht. Like people that are leaving, like Ultan Delan and Owen Masterson, are always been really good to me as like a young lad coming up. And then you've got lads like Gav Thornbury and Jared and Bundy as well. Like there's no real egos there. Like they all want to help you learn, and they want to make you the best rugby player they can for Connacht, because at the end of the day, like that helps them. So like everyone's been really, really nice. They're always kind of like, if you have a question, even like comes down to like physio staff and S&C and stuff, like if you have a question, like there's no stupid questions really. They're willing to help you all the time.
And then for yourself, like, let's say, I might ask another question about this after, but like let's say after the summer, do you want to come into the new season, is there anything else you want to add to your game, or even in terms of physicality, add a few more kilograms or anything like that? Is there anything you have in mind for next season already, like that you'd like to add to your game, or the physicality of it all?
Yeah, like obviously, like every time, like you want to get stronger in the gym, you want to get better condition, but like you just want to keep learning as a player. I think the main thing I've learned is like when you kind of stand back and look and think, I've done really well, that's when you're probably going to get passed out, because there's a load of lads coming in, and there's a load of lads coming up from the academy as well that I know quite well, that are very, very good players, and there's lads that weren't playing that much this year that are very, very good players. So like the main thing is just like try and keep your spot, but also learn as well.
You've had the taste of Ireland camp again this summer. If you got the chance to kind of go away, would that just be something that would kind of be beyond even your wildest dreams?
Yeah, like definitely it would be a dream come true. Like I think any player in Ireland, I think if you ask them, you get to go on a tour to New Zealand for however long, 4 or 3 weeks, they'd bite your hand off. Like it would be an incredible experience. Like it would be awesome. But like, look, if it happens, it happens. And I like to think I've done well this season, and I've made great progress as a player. So look, like I'm at peace with whatever happens, because to be honest, the season has been great for me so far, and I've learned a lot. So.